Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Amateur Hour Sports for your Thursday evening live stream. I'm excited to be here today talking about the Raptors and the NBA once again, as we normally do. A few things on the mind for today's stream. Wanted to discuss, listen, I don't play 2K, but I saw some ratings get released for one Raptors player in particular, the man that is in the thumbnail of today's live stream. And it's a little bit disappointing, as usual, when it came to that. We'll talk about that and some of the comparisons out there. We'll also be going through every starting shooting guard in the National Basketball Association and ranking them, just as we did with the point guards. Was it last week? Or maybe it was the week before. Sometime recently. We did the same thing for shooting guards. You can bet we're going to be doing the rest of the positions throughout the rest of the offseason. But this is where we are at. We got a couple other things on the menu for today, but thank you so much for joining me. If you do have anything in the chat you'd like to discuss, anything in the chat that you want to bring up, then please feel free to do so as well. And we get to pretty much everything, as we normally do. All right, what is this? Never mind. Yeah, this is going to be good. If you've watched the video yesterday, I think, yeah, the video that came out yesterday on the main channel, I decided to try and start upgrading the editing, I guess my own editing, with additional graphics, additional sound effects, additional just visuals to go with it. So hopefully if you did check out yesterday's video, you can let me know if that was enjoyable or not, more enjoyable than previously or not. And if you didn't check it out, maybe do go check it out, because yesterday's video I think was very good and contained the additional effort that went into it. Basically, I bought some software that would allow me to go a bit further with videos. So hopefully that just helps enhance the product that I'm trying to put out on a tri-weekly basis, if that's a word. But thank you everybody once again for joining. If you do enjoy what you see from today's stream, please make sure you do hit that like button. It does go a long way to supporting the channel, helping us get on some more YouTube recommended pages. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see today, give us a chance. Maybe you'll subscribe as well. Month and a half away from preseason. We're grinding through. We're really in the dog days of summer, but I'm looking forward to some training camp content and some media day content, hopefully coming out in the next little bit. But yeah, still no complete and final word on the summer training camp roster. It might be, we talked about it last stream, but it might be Quincy Guerrier, who is the 21st player on the roster. I'm not so sure. I haven't seen that completely confirmed, but regardless. That was on the last stream that we did. Let's say what's up to the people in the chat. We got Daniel Berry Sports highlights here. Winner one here. Northside, Rusty Rambali. Hopefully I said that correctly. And we got Stream OG and a member in the community, Doug B. Thank you, everybody. Let's read what we got so far. Been a minute for one. Yeah, I don't blame you guys. I still think the streams are coming out fine, and I hope they are still entertaining for the viewers, but it's easy to get a little bit disconnected from the Raptors right now. This is the driest summer of Raptors content I've personally experienced in the 5 years I've been creating content. The 4 years I've been creating content specifically around the Raptors. In fact, I think it's only, how many summers have I doing? I think it's been 4 summers now where I've been doing Raptor-specific content in the summer. And last year we had we had the Damian Lillard rumors. We had Scotty Barnes coming off of a tough season. We had the rumblings about the Raptors rebuilding, trading Siakam, trading Anunoby, all this stuff going down. We had a lot to go on in the summer. Summer before that, Kevin Durant was seriously in contention to be traded to the Raptors. That was huge. Summer before that, the Raptors the 4th overall pick. Scotty Barnes was an absolute smash hit on YouTube. Summer before that, the channel wasn't respected. The channel had over 1,000 subs, I think, but it wasn't, or did it? It may not even had 1,000 subs yet. So I didn't really know what I was doing with the channel at that point. So it wasn't like I was in a real structured environment for content. But this summer, there just isn't a whole lot to go off of here. No major trade potentially brewing for the Raptors. No marquee draft picks incoming for the team. It's an exciting start, but that's just the way it is. I'm not complaining, by the way. I'm just saying the way it is. There's no real marquee thing to go off this summer. But still, I'm enjoying creating content. I'm really looking forward to see what this team can do going forward. I hope I don't come across too negative with the videos. I generally don't think the Raps are going to do fantastic this season, but I think that there is a possibility for individuals within the team to do really well over the course of the season and for the team to really grow. Like if they shock me and make the playoffs, you know, I'll be the happiest guy. I'm not bothered if I'm wrong on my takes here. I'm just trying to be realistic about the team. You know, it's kind of a shame going into the season the way things are looking. I mean, the season they came fifth, I thought they'd be like a play-in team, and they came fifth. I was really excited. That was an awesome year. Just was a bit of an outlier, unfortunately, for where the Raps have been ever since. 9 more weeks to season wrap back. Yeah, 9 weeks. I mean, Jesus. Oh, well. Preseason starts October 9th, I believe. But yes, until we see like not real, but NBA regular season basketball is what I'm looking forward to see. Absolutely. When do I have? Let me see if I have in my calendar when the Raptors play. I do not have it, but I do have the regular season games in my calendar already. Or do I? No, I don't. I don't know. I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out. Mobley above Scotty. We'll talk about it. We'll get there, of course. Scotty should have been higher. She was like Giannis, Jokic are only at 90. Did I see the? They put Spice to be a third, but Bam's sorry 90. But did I see? Okay, so I know what Scotty Barnes' rating was. Did I see a? Yeah, I think I have the list here. Jokic and Giannis at 90. I have them, from what I see, I have them much higher than 90. And I would think they'd be much higher. I haven't played 2K in a long time, but 90 feels very low for the best players. I see Jokic at 98 and Giannis at 97, unless I have the wrong site here, which is possible because, again, not super in tune with this. But I did see, yes, Pascal Siakam is 30th, which is... Granted, probably still a little bit low for him, but yeah, they have him there. Man, fucking some of these goddamn ratings, dude. Oh, we will save that, but just some of the rate, like to see, we'll save it. we'll save. We'll do a segment on it. I'll record it. Will RJ make the shooting guard list or small forward ranking? I don't know. That's a good question from Northside. I guess it depends who starts. If Bruce Brown starts, I think you can get a bit more away with calling RJ Barrett the shooting guard. I don't really, I guess actually if you are thinking about, would it be a stretch to really say, could RJ Barrett thrust himself into all-star conversations? I mean, what would RJ Barrett have to do to be considered for an all-star? What would he have to do? Let's see. So, this is what he did for the Raptors last season. This is just his 32 games with the Raptors. This is not including his New York Knicks number. Those are all-star. Now, you do that all year, you're an all-star. If you score 60% on twos, 39% for three, that's pretty damn close to being an all-star. Come on. I think he'd have to get his point numbers up a little bit more, but mind you, he was not shooting well from the line. If he just cleans up his act from the free throw line, this is 23 points per game, really. This you'd have to make. I mean, the Raptors have a bad record, but you'd have to make a real case for that level of play not to be an all-star consideration. It's just bonkers. But again, can RJ Barrett do that for a full season? That's what we got to see. That's what we got to find out, and we will find out very soon. If you think content is always entertaining, I'm just busy in summer. I consume a lot of this content in general. I guess that's fair enough. Depends on your situation, of course. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not calling the community anything. I think it's been awesome this summer. I'm still grinding out content, doing as much as I can, and enjoying it. And hopefully enjoying it more with the upgrade in the quality of the content as well. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed that from the recent video upload. I already have the video for tomorrow scheduled, ready to go as well. So the one that comes out tomorrow will also contain that, and as will videos going forward if I feel as though it is worthwhile. And so far I do feel like it is worthwhile. Been a dry summer off season, not gonna lie. something major except Clay and DeMar. And even that isn't that major. That's a good point. The whole NBA has been rather tame. Maybe part of that is the Olympics going on, or it's just, sometimes the cards don't line up that way, if that's a term. It just didn't line up in the fashion for some major story to break. Like the DeMar and Clay thing weren't that significant. I think the DeMar news could have really passed somebody by, honestly. It's a fair assumption to think the Raptors want to be very good this season. I don't think so. Well, okay. Let me. It's a fair assumption that they would want to be very good. Yes, they would like to be as good as they can be. But I also think it's fair to say that they probably won't be super good, and if they aren't, they may choose to tone it down a little bit and look at the draft. They're already using the term rebuild. They're saying they're starting their rebuild, so they're comfortable with things not going fantastically on court this season in terms of the win-loss. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with putting the pieces in place for the season, seeing how things look around Scotty Barnes, seeing what you really have with Quickly, with Barrett, with Grady Dick. All that stuff is fine. I'm willing to forego win-loss stuff as long as there's as long as they're showing that things are going in the right direction. Like a lot of last season, it was annoying that it just did not feel like things were going well. And it did not appear as though things were just progressing and getting better. That was a frustration from last season. So I'm hoping we don't have that this season. They want to be in the best to see what talents they do and don't have. Absolutely. But, they get around, like I keep saying in the videos, they get around February, they get around trade deadline, they're on like a 35-win pace. 35 wins isn't going to do this team anything. 27, 28 wins might help this team out a lot. You never know. But 35 wins to 30, that's just not going to cut it. I think the East will be crap this season. So, is there a pathway to winning 37, 38 games and being in the play-in tournament? I think so. But even then, great. 10 seed, you got to win 2 games. Then you get number 1 seed, likely Boston Celtics first round, all that. I'm on that mindset. I'm okay worrying about the draft, but I don't want to do it out the gate. Come out and try to win games, see how far it takes you. But look, if you're on pace for a not fantastic season, then you can cool it a little bit, right? Do you think that Jacoby will struggle this rookie season? Depends on the term, what you would consider struggling. Depends on your expectations, I suppose. Right? Like what would define success? What would define struggling? I think like my expectation last stream was I think like 7.5 points per game. It is a good level for Jacoby Walter season 1. He's a rookie. Like, it ain't just going to be massive from day one. He's a rookie. He's going to be coming off the bench. Wasn't a super efficient player in college. That's just not going to shift right away. He's a young player. We need building blocks. And a good building block for him could be averaging 7-8 points per game, hitting 33% of his threes. And we work off that for the next season. I think that's fine. So, depending on what you would define as struggling for Jacoby Walter. But I think there could be some growing pains, but it could be a case of growing into the role like Grady Dick did last season. All right, we want to talk about the 2K ratings. Let's jump in. Let's jump in to the 2K ratings because this was bad, and this was very confusing seeing the latest batch of NBA 2K25 ratings because I really don't want to be this way. But once again, a Toronto Raptors marquee player has been disrespected. I hate to pull the bias, like Raptors bias card or anything, or the anti-Raptor bias, rather, from companies like 2K25. But like on a year-to-year basis, it is so baffling how some of these ratings and numbers come to fruition. And again, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Like in life, this is a video game, right? It doesn't matter, but it does matter. And you feel like these players are underappreciated. All you want as a fan is for your players on your team to be appreciated for what they are. And in the case of Scottie Barnes in NBA 2K25, that is not the case. Before we really dive into it, I'm going to preface this by saying, not a 2K player anymore. Played a little bit around like 2K19 to 2K22. Haven't really played a lot since then. Don't really play a ton of video games these days, unfortunately, anyways. But I know like a little bit about the ratings. But so when I saw the rating that came out for Scottie Barnes, just by a number, just by a figure, not comparing to anybody else, I was like, okay, 85. Okay, maybe a little low, but I think that's fine. That is until I saw the players around Scottie Barnes, or rather, higher than Scottie Barnes on the list. At that point, it became a little bit more annoying, frustrating, because Scottie Barnes is better than, like, not just one or two. Scottie Barnes is better than a lot of the players who are ahead of them on this list. So, Scottie Barnes comes in at 85. He is 47th on the list of NBA players going into this game. And just first things first. First things first. Scottie Barnes under Evan Mobley. Starting off strong, right? Scottie Barnes emerged as the best player out of his draft class. Scottie Barnes has emerged as an all-star. He is an all-star, whether you want to call it injury reserve or not. There's a lot of other guys who weren't called in as injury reserves. He will go down as an all-star for that season. 85 rated. I think Scottie Barnes is better than Evan Mobley. Scottie Barnes isn't detrimental to his team because of a lack of an ability to bring to the floor. On offense, Evan Mobley still can't shoot. DeJounte Murray, I thought we were past the DeJounte Murray hype. I cannot believe he is still an 86. I cannot believe he's above Scottie Barnes. Franz Wagner is an 86. I like Franz Wagner, but there's no way he's better than Scottie Barnes. Like, there's just no way we have the guy who has emerged as the best player out of his draft class, Evan Mobley, Franz Wagner, and Cade Cunningham all rated higher than him on the most recent 2K. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I'm not even going to go as far and say I'm convinced Jamal Murray is better than Scottie Barnes. DeMar DeRozan coming off the season he had. Chet Holmgren going into his second season of playing is already an 87. And I think at that point, I can be comfortable here with some of the ratings. But to go all the way down here to see where Scottie Barnes is and the company that he has, Scottie Barnes is way better than Bradley Beal in 2024. Way better than Chris Middleton. Gilbert is kind of low, going to be honest. OG getting some respect. I like that. Barnes is way better than Jalen Green. He's an 84. That's insanity. These are good players, but they are not in the category of Scottie Barnes in terms of level of talent. So 85 to me seemed okay. But man, to see the players above him or even just under them is just flat out ridiculous, flat out disrespectful. 20 points per game, 19.9 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, over a steal, 1.5 blocks per game. One of 3 players in the entire National Basketball Association to average 15, 5, 5, 1, and 1. But the only player to average these numbers. And you're not even really cherry picking here. You're really not. Like, we're talking about 15, 5, and 5. Like, how about basically 20, 8, and 6? Only Giannis and Embiid were 15, 5, 5, 1, and 1 this season. And Scottie Barnes, 47th in the NBA 2K ratings, ranked as an 85 overall. It's not about the 85 overall for me. It really isn't. Obviously, like I said, I was okay with the 85 when I first saw it. I thought it could have been higher, but I was mostly okay with it. But man, to see the guys above him, just flat ridiculous. Then you go higher up the list. Banchero at 89. Wow. That's really high. That's really high for Paolo Banchero. Okay? I think Scottie Barnes and Banchero on similar talent levels. In fact, I would have said Scottie Barnes outperformed Paolo Banchero last season. I have said that numerous times over the last year. Banchero's an 89. The guy that I think Scottie Barnes outplayed last season was more deserving of the initial All-Star selection is an 89. Well, Scottie Barnes is sat at 85. How ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that? The rest up here, Donovan Mitchell is a little bit high. Jaylen Brown's a little bit high. You know he just won Finals MVP, but he's a little bit high. Jaylen Brunson's maybe a smidge high, but yeah, leave me LaMelo Ball 87. How LaMelo Ball at 87, Scottie Barnes at 85. So, you know, I don't want to play there's an anti-Raptor bias. But if you want me to further strengthen that case around that bias, anti-bias, Pascal Siakam last season was worse than he was the season before. Don't think that's a hot take. That's just factual. Pascal Siakam this most recent season was not as good as Pascal Siakam was the year before. Yet, Pascal Siakam's an 88. I think that's fair for Pascal Siakam. I think he could even be higher. But he's gone up 2 ratings. He's gone up 2 ratings in a season where he underperformed his prior self the year before. The only difference, in my estimation, is that Pascal Siakam now plays for the Indiana Pacers, albeit that's not a big market either. But the Indiana Pacers play south of the border. You're telling me if Pascal Siakam was still a Toronto Raptor, produced pretty much the exact same season statistically that he did with the Raptors compared to what he did with the Indiana Pacers, are you seriously going to say to me Siakam would be sat at an 88 overall today? Because I don't think so. Because if he was going to be listed that high, ranked that high, rated that high, he would have been rated that high the year before. Last year, going into 2K24, when he was coming off of a fantastic season with the Raptors. So why all of a sudden now are we giving Pascal Siakam this extra bit of credit? Why not the year before? I hate to play the card, like I said. I really try to avoid saying there's this anti-Raptor bias. But when I see shit like this, I have no choice but to believe it. Because what else am I supposed to believe with something like this? Seriously, what else am I supposed to believe? And I'm not trying to knock Pascal Siakam. I'm just showcasing my point there. If Scottie Barnes played for an American team, my God, I guarantee you he would not be a fucking 85 overall. No fucking way he would be an 85 overall. Come on. Like Siakam's better than Scottie. I'm not disputing that. But the fact that he's sure, like conference final boost, I'll give you that. But there was no reason that he shouldn't have been already ranked 88 last season, and he got it this year. That's definitely. Listen, I'm not knocking Siakam. I'm happy he's getting some credit here. But why is he only getting it now? Why is he only getting it now? My God. If I'm not mistaken, Pascal Siakam has never been higher than an 88 overall either. I believe he has been in the past. But if I'm not mistaken from my memory, Pascal Siakam has never eclipsed 88 overall. Therefore, this is the highest overall he's ever been in the game. Coincidentally, the year he left. Oh, he's been a 91. God damn. We'll give him his credit then there. '91. Okay, fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. When he was second team All-NBA. Fair enough. Hey, glad he got his props then. He was popular then. I remember. Then he had the Celtics series. Stock plummeted. It's a shame. Never got back there since, huh? Though last year was his statistically his best year. Was it? Was it not? Should we look at some of the other ratings? Let's look at some of the other ones. Let's go through. Let's see if it's fair. So Jokic's obviously fair. He's the best player in the NBA. 3-time MVP. Joel Embiid 97. That's fair. Doncic, Giannis, Shea, all equal. I think that's fair. That's the top 5 in the NBA. KD just behind, and LeBron. I think that's I honestly thought LeBron would be maybe a 94 this year, but 96 is fine. Tatum is higher. Tatum is not 96 overall. Tatum's also not better than Anthony Edwards, who I believe 95 is accurate. I think Steph could even be a 96. He's gone down one. I think he could still be a 96. AD, his 3-point shot, 70 feels high. Anyways, 80's not, that's high for AD. Devin Booker, that's a little high. I think Brunson's very good. I'm not sure about 94. I guess in relation to the other players, that makes sense. Kyrie Irving is not a 90. Kyrie Irving's got a 4 overall. Kyrie Irving's not a 94. John Morant, 93. Okay. Maybe a little high. I'm saying everyone's high. Jaylen Brown, too high. Who's not okay? I'm saying everybody's too high. Maybe we're bell curving here, you know? We're bell curving. Think about it, bell curved. Anthony Edwards should be higher. Steph Curry should be higher. AD should still be lower. Devin Booker, Brunson are fine. Kyrie Irving's too high. John Morant's fine. Brown is too high. Mitchell, I think, is a little too high. Kawhi is fine on 92. Okay, I can accept Halliburton at 91. Wembanyama 90. We're getting a little bit hyped, but okay. Dame at 89, I think, is fair, honestly. It's a shame that he's dropped so much, but I do think that's fair. Jimmy Butler 89 is fair. Banchero's too high, honestly. I think 87 would be more fair for Banchero. Paul George is a bit high. I actually think Trae Young could be higher. I think Tyrese Maxey could actually be higher. I don't know. They maybe didn't want to boost him too much, but I think Tyrese Maxey could be higher. Bam, I think Bam's fine there. I think Fox is fine there. I think Sabonis is about fair. Zion, I think that's fair for Zion. Siakam, I like that. Towns is fine. LaMelo Ball is too high. I'm fine with Drew Holiday there. I'm going to go to the top 50. DeRozan might be a touch high, but okay. Chet's higher than I thought he'd be. I think Porzingis could actually be higher here. Jamal Murray's a bit high. I think 86 would have been more appropriate. Jaren Jackson, 87 is fine. Markkanen should be higher to me. He's very good. Cade is too high. Cade should be an 85. J-Dub, 86 is okay. Franz should be an 85. Derek White could be higher, honestly. I think I'd be fine with Derek White at 87. DeJounte Murray's like 3 too high. He went up 2. He went up 2 ratings. DeJounte Murray should be like an 83, man. How the hell is he an 86? Mobley should be an 85. Barnes should be at least an 87. I actually think Randall could be an 86. And there we go. Yeah, it's seeing the Raptors is frustrating. It's frustrating. I think Bam could be higher. The Celtics do have a fucking super team. You think Randall's fine at 85? I think Randall's quite. I actually don't really like Randall, but I think he could be better. Oh, you think 87? Yeah. I think Ingram could be higher as well. That's a bit low. Barnes is not a top 15. Would an 87 make him a top 15 player? No. 87 overall would make him a top 33 player. I think that's fair. But yeah, there'd be 7, 8 guys tied at 87. So it'd be a top 40 player, which I think is fair. He's top 50. I can't get over this. I cannot get over the fact that Wagner, Cade, and Mobley are higher than him. I just cannot get over that. That's egregious. That's absolutely fucking egregious. That is egregious. One rookie of the year for his class. First player to make All-Star out of his class. And he's rated lower than 3 other guys in the draft class. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Evan Mobley wasn't even as good as Jared Allen last season. Jared Allen was very good last year, and he outperformed Mobley. What's Jared Allen? Jared Allen better be 84. He is. Want to know what? Let them hit the court and let the stats tell the story next season. Indeed, and that's what it comes down to. again, I'm getting worked up over video game. Video games don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Look, they matter. They're fun. It's enjoyable. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter to life. What matters is the Raptors getting better. Scotty Barnes continuing to get better. But I hope he looks at that, because I know he plays 2K, obviously. I hope he looks at that instead and uses that as fuel. Man, you rated me fucking 85? We'll see about that. We will see about that. Yeah, 2K, I mean, a lot of video game franchises are going down. FIFA is just... I played FIFA for like 8-9 years. So much. And they massacred my boy. They killed the game for me. They completely killed the game for me. 2K, from what I see, is heading in that direction. And look, it's still going to have millions and millions and millions of players, of course. But, man, they really killed FIFA. I hate what they did to FIFA. What FIFA did to FIFA. What EA did to FIFA. Or FC, whatever now. It's sad. They did it. What do you think is the max count if you were to be extremely optimistic going into next season on health plus internal growth? Extremely optimistic to me is like going 500. Like if the Raptors go 500, something has gone amazingly well. To like be in like your first year of your rebuild and go 500, I think would be very impressive. What do you guys think? What is the extremely optimistic consensus on win total for the Raptors? So keep in mind their win total currently set at 30.5. So they have to absolutely crush that for 41. That's a lot. 50 would certainly be something special. We'd have a parade. If we win 50 games, we need a parade, man. 43 to 44 wins. It's hard to win that many games. It really is hard to win that many games. Like, let's look at the standings last season. And we'll consider some of the teams we thought actually were good last year. The teams that won, like, 44 games. So, okay, fair enough. No East team won that many games. Because you're either 2 below or, like, 5 below or 3 above. So it's slightly worse than the Miami Heat last season. That'd be hard to do. In the West, nobody won 44 games in the NBA. You're just under what the Warriors did last season. You know, it makes it, you know what, in saying that, you're only a little worse than what the Warriors and Heat did. That makes it a little bit more believable for myself. But also, the Rockets, you have to be a bit better than the way the Rockets did. I just find that it's going to be tough to do. The only Rockets fans would have gone into last season thinking they'd win 41 games, though. Realistically, in the most elite picture, the most optimistic picture, 40 to 42 wins. I can agree with that. They did look good with Barnes, quickly, Barrett all together, and you add in Pirtle to the mix. It looked good. Rockets fan didn't know Alba was going to leap. Tell you. They did. And you know who else did? Your boy did. Been a believer since day zero for Schengen. I don't understand why people say 30-plus win for the current. So here we have other end here. Feels good, man. Feels bad here. And says, I don't understand why people say 30-plus wins with the current bench. Is that a knock on the bench? Are you saying, like, they're not winning 30 games with that bench? In which case, I'd say, like, there's an argument to be made there that's not a very good bench. Overall, it's 5 capable NBA players, which is better than other years, but it's not top heavy. RJ Barrett and a 2026 first round pick for Şengün and Green. Come on, that's not going to happen, is it? They're not going to do that. They will collapse the moment Jacob gets hurt. 4-24 and he's out last season. Yeah, I actually think it was worse, wasn't it? Whatever. If it was 4-24. I think I actually have a screenshot of that page. Do I still have that? No, I don't. Yeah, I agree. I think no Pirtle minutes will be really bad. And non-permanent, we're going to see a lot. I think we're going to see a lot of Barnes at the 5, which is going to be also very frustrating next season because there's just not enough rim protection. Annoying. We didn't address that. As I've said so many times in videos and once again did in yesterday's video. I can hear something. Anyways, 428. Even worse than 424. That's true. Less expectations could help. Chris Boucher, good time to bring this up, also said that the team is working really well together in the offseason. That's great. Saying the team will surprise the team. I don't know about that, Chris, but he says that we put a lot of work into the summer. We spent a lot of time together. I think that's great. I think that's fantastic. Even name drop Fred. Wow. Team is spending a lot of time here. One of the big focuses of the season for me was building chemistry, and it appears as though they're already on the way in building that chemistry for the season. So I think that's great. It will work in our favor to have the limit on the expectations. Everyone thought the team coming off the Tampa season would miss the playoffs again with Kyle leaving in free agency, but damn near won 50 games. Yeah, that year was crazy. However, you look at where the Raptors have been since the Tampa season. That's the only positive outlier. It's unfortunate that I used to consider the Tampa season as the outlier. It appears as though the return from Tampa season, where they were the 5th seed, was the outlier because they just haven't really reached those heights since then. And it just seemed like everything was clicking with that team. There was still that continuity from the championship, the layover there. Barnes came in and really injected a lot. So surprises happen. Absolutely surprises happen. But it's tough for me to really see it. Didn't think Orlando would be as good as they were last season. So again, you just never know. It's tough for me to really see. I think that's a good place to end off. Let's get into the poll here. I wanted to do a poll reminiscent of the previous one we did, where we talked about point guards in the NBA. Today we're going to go the other way. We are going to look at every starting shooting guard, projected starting shooting guard, in the NBA for the upcoming season and rank them. Who are the superstars? Who are the stars? Who are the players that aren't so good? And more. Let's get started. So, for the tiers here, every player who starts is good. So, I felt once again weird having a category worse than mid. As we said in the last one that we did, the term mid has kind of taken on a new meaning. It doesn't necessarily mean average, middle of the pack anymore. It kind of means a less than average at this point. So as far as the underwhelming shooting guards who still start in the NBA today, those players are mid. And the rest of it speaks for itself. I might make some changes as we go throughout this tier list here, as I kind of see who should be on the same tier as one another. But let's do our best. Out the gate with Kyrie Irving, as much as he's taken maybe a slight step back, he's still a star. I'm not going to go as far as to call him a superstar in 2024, but Kyrie Irving is definitely a star in the NBA at minimum. He's bordering superstar level at that. Middleton is a tough case. He has really fallen off with the injuries. He's tough to really peg down in a specific spot. I might come back to him because I'm thinking there's going to be some guys in great who Middleton should not be with. But I think Middleton is too good to be just good. Let's move him down a bit. Derek White is great. He's bordering a star, man. Derek White is really, really good. The defense, the shooting, we'll give him great. Let's not pump him to it. We'll give him great. He does play for the Celtics. Andrew Nembhard is a good player. He's good though. You know, he ain't up here. He's good. He should even be in the middle of these, I think. But he's good. Terrence Mann, underwhelming to me. As far as a starting shooting guard goes, Terrence Mann is a fine player, but he's a little bit underwhelming to myself. I'll put him there for now. Austin Reeves, I was expecting a lot more out of Austin Reeves last season and didn't get it. Am I going to put him mid? I'm going to put him good. I think he's good. I think I'd go with him ahead of Terrence Mann. I think I would go that far. Yeah, I think I would go that far. Marcus Smart is good. Sick of him being overrated, and I don't think he is going to the season. Tyler Hero, he's good. Yeah, I'll give him good. He's better than Austin Reeves, though. We may have to move Austin Reeves down. Anthony Edwards is a superstar. I mean, I've been saying for a long time. Anthony Edwards, absolutely a superstar player. The mark of a superstar. Full assent to that. What are we saying on Kyrie Irving? Do we think Kyrie Irving is a superstar? I'm not sure. Question about Chris Middleton being a shooting guard. So I went off of the NBA's depth chart unless I really felt as though I had to pick, had to go in a different direction. And for the case of Chris Middleton, he was listed as the shooting guard. Let me just confirm why I went in that direction. Chris Middleton was listed as the Bucks shooting guard because they have Taurean Prince starting as one of the forwards. I guess who else would they start? What does Milwaukee's depth chart look like? What does Milwaukee's depth chart look like? You know what? They'll probably start Gary Trent. Now that I look at this, will they start him? I think they might start Gary Trent. For the sake of what we're doing here, we'll leave Middleton in for now. Okay. You know what? Gary Trent. You know what? They started Beasley last year. Gary Trent will start. Let's get Gary Trent in here instead. This is going to be a nightmare to edit after the fact. I think you guys are right. I think I should have looked into that a bit more at first. We're gonna toss in Gary Trent. Give me 1 second here. And we're going to take Middleton out. All right. Let's solve this. So Middleton's out here. Okay, Middleton's out here. We didn't use him yet, so we'll go. Okay, we have Gary Trent. So, anyways, we just cut all that out. Gary Trent will likely be starting for the Milwaukee Bucks this season. I've watched many seasons of Gary Trent. He's underwhelming. If he wasn't underwhelming, he would have gotten a contract more than the vet minimum, basically, this summer. Yeah. Just his defense lets him down. He can only score open threes. Like, Raptors fans, what are we saying? Is Gary Trent anything other than mid there? He can shoot open threes. That's it, really. He doesn't do anything else. He can't hit when he's contested. He can't score at the rim. He can't score in transition. He can't play defense very well. No, mid. CJ McCollum, is he great is he great in 2024? I'll put him there for now. Mikal Bridges is not a shooting guard. I agree with you. But the New York Knicks have so many forwards that Mikal Bridges is listed as the starting shooting guard for the New York Knicks. Please, if you feel opposite, let me know. But OG Anunoby's there. Julius Randle's there. Mikal Bridges is probably starting at quote-unquote shooting guard. It's tough. Shooting guard is, for some guys, like Anthony Edwards is a shooting guard. Gary Trent's a shooting guard. But for some other guys here, like Derek White's a point guard, really. Mikal Bridges is a small forward, really. But he's listed as a shooting guard here. He's great. He's great. Yeah, he's great. He's not a star. He's great. So is Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso's great. The defense makes him a championship caliber player. That's enough for me to put him above the likes of Nembhard, Smart, and Hero. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He's very good. I don't want to... I feel like we need another tier. You know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna add in a tier here. We're gonna add one below. We're gonna do what we did for the point guard stream. We're gonna add in not great, but better than good. I think that's fair. I think I want to put him there too, actually. Do we put Caruso in there too? This one's tough. What do you guys think about that tier there? Need this. I don't know why it's opposite. Why they put green as the worst. It's just always been the case. What do we think? Another tier there? Do we need one? Positions are all over the place now. Yeah. KCP is good. I think KCP is better than good. KCP is better than good. So, okay. We need this tier because we need to recognize that KCP is not just good. Cam Thomas, would he be a starting point guard anywhere other than the Brooklyn Nets this season? The answer is no. So he's mid. Is he the worst? Somebody has to be the worst starting shooting guard in the NBA. He definitely has a case. You know what? He doesn't have a case. There's one that's worse than. You know what? He has a case, but there's probably one that's worse than him. And we'll get there. Kelly Oubre is mid. We got a lot of mid here. There weren't a lot of mid starting point guards. There's a lot of mid starting shooting guards. He's fine. Look, he'll be the fifth man, but I'm putting him there. Devin Booker. Do we call him a superstar? I think he's just enough to be a superstar. I think he's just enough. I'm bordering, but I think he's just enough. Shaedon Sharpe, I'll give him good. I'll put him above some of these other guys. I like Shaedon Sharpe. What do we think on Shaedon Sharpe? Is Shaedon Sharpe good or is he mid? You'd argue Book over Ant. I wouldn't do that. Mid? I'd take Ant over Book as well. Okay. The fact that we're gonna have that conversation means we'll keep that as is. Sharpe is good. All right, I'm gonna casually box score surf here to see if I'm overrating in my mind. Shaedon Sharpe, nah, he's good. Come on, he's good. He's good. 16. Nah, Shaedon Sharpe's good. At least good. He's at least good at this point. He's good though. We're not gonna put him mid. Kevin Huerter, down year, but enough for me to say, is he on this level? This is a tough level. I'll put him there. I'll give him the benefit and put him there. I might move him lower. Devin Vassell. I think Devin Vassell gets underrated. He's better than good. He really is a good, efficient scorer. One of the few mid-range assassins left in the NBA. That's not necessarily a compliment, but he's a scorer. He knows how to score. Honestly, off last season's strength, Colin Sexton was excellent last year. Just excellent last year. Ooh. I'm even considering him in great. He's definitely better than good. Okay, Derek White and McElrath might be a class above. I will put Colin Sexton was fantastic last season. Super efficient scorer last year. So I'll put Colin Sexton at the top of this tier here. I think Bridges is here. I'll put Bridges there as well. I'm gonna order them a little bit along the way. Jordan Poole is I think he's got ability, but just the way he plays is absolutely mid. This might be the worst starting shooting guard in the NBA. I'm sorry to Josh Green. He's probably going to be the starting shooting guard for the Charlotte Hornets this season. I think ESPN actually had it listed differently. Let me just double check who they have listed as the starting shooting guard. Whoever it was didn't really make sense, I remember seeing. Yeah, okay, NBA, ESPN has it listed as, well, Brandon Miller is a starting shooting guard, which doesn't make sense. Brandon Miller is a forward. Josh Green is a guard. So Josh Green will be the starting shooting guard. Okay, yeah, Josh Green will probably start at shooting guard for them. I think that's the worst starting shooting guard in the NBA. That's the way it's got to be. Kobe White's an interesting case. He had a really good year last year. Really came out of nowhere with that. I would take all 5 players in the not great but better than good tier before I take Kobe White. So I'll put him at the top of the good tier for now. Donovan Mitchell. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't think he's as good as Booker or Ant. I just think he lacks. just that it factor he doesn't have. I'm going to put him with Kyrie. But there's just that little bit of an it factor that isn't there for me. And that is something that I've carried for a while. It's one of the reasons I did not want the Raptors to trade for him when he was on the trade block. I think he's a star, but I don't think he's in the superstar tier. And maybe the names of the categories are kind of shifting the way you look at it here. But for me, Mitchell and Kyrie are not on the same level as Anthony Edwards and Devin Booker. So I'm going to keep them here. Christian Brown's mid. And the Denver Nuggets are going to find out pretty quickly that this guy is not as good as this guy here. Jaden Ivey, I like Jaden Ivey, but I think he's still got ways to go to prove that he is within this category here. Brandon Podziemski is good. He's good and getting better. But going second season, I think that's fair for him. Jalen Green had a really good end of the season, but I'm not going as far as to say he's better than good yet. I've seen a lot of guys in like the last 30 games of the season go off, and that does not necessarily indicate who they are. I want to put him at the top of good. Do you think Jalen Green has done enough to go higher than that into the great? You think Jalen Green is great? You think I'm talking about not great but better than good tier here. We're talking about great. I'm not putting him with Bridges and White. I am not allowing myself to do that. I think next season he could be. I think that's fair. But not from what he saw not from just off last season. He was, you know what? He does score. Not super efficient, but this guy scores as I box score surf here. He's definitely not good. Okay, he's definitely not good. He's better than that. But he's not up here with these guys. I'll put him here. Cruz is a bit high. We'll put Cruz there. Bogdanovich. He's definitely at least good. He's probably in between good and the not great but better than good tier. Nah, top of good. Grady Dick, our final player here. I saved him for last. Raptors fans, what do we think? Where are we putting Grady Dick? Where are we putting Grady Dick here? You guys think if Booker's top, then so should Mitchell. You'd move Ant down before Mitchell. I think Anthony Edwards is the best shooting guard in the league based on this. I really like Anthony Edwards. What are we feeling on Grady Dick? Has he done enough? Has he done enough? We put him here. Guys, I don't think we can. I don't think we can do it. Is he better than anybody on the good tier? Going like purely based off of current ability, not about future aspirations, not about potential, purely based on what they did last season and who they are going into this season. We unfortunately will have to put Grady Dick in the mid category. Unfortunately. Not trying to be disrespectful, but I don't think he's as good as Podziemski, Herter, Hero, Smart, Nemhard. So we got to put him in the mid tier, unfortunately. At the end of next season, he will at least be good. At least be good. That is what I would think. We're going to redo this in 1 year's time with the same tiers, and Grady Dick is going to be at least in the good tier. And I think that's fine. We kind of see not like the shooting guard crop is not as good as the, I feel like a lot of shooting guards are just like point guards who aren't good enough to be the starting point guard. Is that why we don't have like as much top tier talent in this position as we do for point guards. I think that's been the case for a while, to be fair. CJ McCollum was bugging me a little bit. I'm wondering if I have him a bit too high. And the box score surf will give me a better indication to that. Is McCollum still cooking? He's still cooking. Come on. I think I've disrespected him by this position, to be honest. He should be higher. One higher. McCollum's still averaging 20 a game pretty efficiently. Nembhard averaged 10 a game. I like Nembhard, but I'm not going to put him up with those guys just yet. I don't think Nembhard should be higher. I know Pelican fans don't like him, but I did it without box score watching for McCollum. The box score surfing was purely as a reaffirm my position and my stance. He clearly can shoot. He clearly has shooting gravity. He shoots 43% from 3 over the course of 66 games, 46% from the field. I think you can make a case CJ McCollum should be even higher on this, but I'm not going to do that. Not a lot of top-tier talent as shooting guard, but that'll be my list. What time is it? Damn, we've gone an hour already. Oops. I don't think Nembhard is as good as CJ McCollum. I think if you offered for one season McCollum for Nembhard, I think the Indiana Pacers would do that. And I like Nembhard, but I like McCollum as well. Granted, I'm not watching every game these guys play. I'm doing my best here. I'm comfortable with where the list finished off there. I'm comfortable with where we ended here. All subjective, of course. All subjective. But man, what is it about? There's a lot. There was barely any mid players in point guards, and a lot of stars, superstars, great players. There was really not a lot here. We're not going to do small forwards today. There could be a lot of really good small forwards when we do the next stream. Small forwards will be hard to do because, power forward and small forward are so easily interchangeable nowadays. Jalen Johnson is clearly a power forward, but Jason Tatum's listed as a power forward. He's a small forward playing as a power forward, right? Patrick Williams is a power forward. He's a power forward, purely. So is P.J. Washington. So is Aaron Gordon. So is Harris. Maybe it is as clear. Maybe it is more clear. Yeah, you know what? To be fair, there's a lot of actual power forwards out there. But Kawhi could be a small forward. Jovic, I don't think is starting, is he? Towns could be a center, but okay, power forward. Okay, to be fair, a lot of these guys are purely power forwards. Durant could be a small forward. Jeremy Grant could be a small forward. Martin could be a small forward. Sohan could be a small forward. Barnes could be a small forward. A lot of guys could be small forwards still. What about what else? Small forwards. Yeah, small forward. Levine could be a shooting guard. He's listed as a small forward. Strus could be a shooting guard. He's listed as a small forward. Clay, same. Speed-wise, Clay probably more of a small forward these days. Michael Porter Jr. could be a power forward. Actually, defense, no. He has to be a small forward. Small. Yeah. I think what was weird, actually, I actually had to adjust the Phoenix one because Booker is listed as a point guard. And in last week's stream, I did Tyus Jones, the point guard. I wanted your guys' thoughts. Phoenix absolutely need to have Bradley Beal coming off the bench, right? Tyus Jones has been informed he's starting by Phoenix, correct? Devin Booker's starting. Kevin Durant's starting. I think if you want Tyus Jones, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Yusuf Nurkic on the floor at the same time, you have to start Grayson Allen. Bradley Beal's got to come off the bench, doesn't he? The greatest six man in the league, perhaps. If I'm Bradley Beal, I probably feel a little disrespected. But and listen, Bradley, fair enough, but he kind of has to, right? Tough one. All right, guys, that'll pretty much do it. We'll do small forwards next stream. As far as the next stream is concerned, unfortunately, scheduling. This came out of nowhere, but some scheduling stuff has come up, and it makes it a bit more complicated to do streams on Tuesday and Thursdays now. So unfortunately, we may have to pivot to a one stream a week thing unless I find a different day, but it might just be Wednesdays going forward. Kind of tough because I did if I did, see, the thing is, my Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. are going to be, actually, no, not Tuesdays. Tuesdays, you know what? I can still do Tuesdays. Okay, I can still do Tuesdays. It's going to be tough to do Thursdays as well now. So, like, Tuesday and Thursdays are open for me. This is the complication I'm enduring. Tuesdays, I'll still try to. I mean, even then, some days, Tuesdays at 6, I'll be busy. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6. Yeah, it's just streaming back-to-back days. So I really want to stream back-to-back days. Fridays, I don't want to really commit to doing a stream because Friday plans come up. Saturday plans, forget it. Sundays, really don't like streaming Sunday evenings. Also NFL. So that's the complication I'm in. Like Monday, Thursday would work, but Thursday is the real day I can't really stream. So unless I'd have to do, maybe we can still do this. Thursdays are kind of out the window. Maybe I could pull off a Friday, 5 p.m. sort of stream right after work, end off the week with a stream. I think that is doable. Do I rob us of 2 streams per week? I don't want to. Let me figure out a way to continue to make it happen. But they won't be in this window. The problem is, I have a lot of stuff going on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. So I can't really do before because I got to leave my apartment at 5:30. So I can't do a 5 stream. And I get back at like 7:30, so I'm streaming at 8. I can't really do an 8 p.m. stream, nor do I really want to stream that late. I guess, you know what? Why can't I do an 8 p.m. stream? You know what? What's stopping me from doing a stream at 8 p.m.? Maybe that is more doable than I've made it out to be. Okay, guys. Stream schedule you know what? I've talked myself into it. You know, this is good. This is why I do this here. Because internally thinking about this, I don't convince myself of a certain thing or another like I would do if I verbalize it. I'm going to do my very best to keep streams consistently still Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thursdays will very likely become 8 p.m. streams. Tuesdays have been recently 6 p.m. streams, but sometimes they will be 8 p.m. streams instead. So what I will do from my end is I will do more to ensure that streams are scheduled well in advance, hopefully the night before, so that you, the viewers, have a greater opportunity to, if you would like to watch the stream, plan it out so you can watch. As always, the stream clips are uploaded to the Amateur Reactions channel. As always, you can just watch the streams after the fact. They live on YouTube. You can watch them at any time. But yeah, definitely going to be changing to Thursday time. And yeah, that's all there is to it. All right, guys. All right, you convinced me. We're not going to do back-to-back days. We're going to do Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to be doing them at different times than normal. I would say to operate under the expectation Thursday streams will now be at 8 p.m. And I would say operate under the assumption now that Tuesday streams will vary from either 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. That's what we're going to do. If it's because of a new, I've been with my girlfriend for 5 years. It's not that. She doesn't like basketball much, which is fine because I watch all of the games on stream. So she doesn't have to watch. She doesn't have to watch, but she would watch. If I wasn't streaming, I watched the Raptors games. It'd be fine as well. All right, guys. I've gone over my time. I actually have some plans. Yeah, I got some plans to tend to. It is, you know what? It's because I joined a gym, and the classes I want to take are Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. That's why. So if I go to that, I can come back and do that. That's the stress right now. Looking after myself, but I'm still going to look after you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it, guys. I got to head out. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you again next time. Tomorrow we got a video coming out. Monday we got a video coming out. I'm back here